Good day everyone, we are the Group 3 reporters and this is our report. Individualized teaching methodologies. A. Constructivist approach. The constructive approach views learning as process of constructing meaning, which is greatly influenced by the learner's accumulated experience and understanding. It is likewise viewed as a social process in which learners construct meaning through the interaction of prior knowledge and new learning events. Constructivism is the theory that says learners construct knowledge rather than put passively make information. As people experience the world and reflect upon those experiences, they build their own representation and incorporate new information into their pre-existing knowledge. The constructivist learning theory underpins constructivist teaching.
It involves a continuous creation of rules to explain an observation and in the process, checks new information against prior knowledge to come up with a new understanding. It says that learners construct knowledge rather than just passively take in information. As people experience the world and reflect upon those experiences, they build their own representation and incorporate new information into their pre-existing knowledge. Students learn more and enjoy learning when they are actively involved, rather than passive listeners. Education works best when it concentrates on thinking and understanding rather than on rote memorization.
Instructional characteristic. From the constructivist perspective, teaching is not considered as merely transmitting knowledge and information, fact, concepts, principles to students, but rather as providing students with relevant experience which they can construct their own meaning. The teacher acts as a facilitator, providing opportunities for a stimulating dialogue to the meaning could evolve and be constructed. Here, reporter of instructional materials include learning activities and events rather than fixed documents, loose principles that almost are learned, unquestioned, and simply recalled.
Number 4. The teacher ceases to be traditional sole source of authority in the classroom. With proper recall of existing knowledge, which they gain through experiences, she guides them through skillful questioning and appropriate cognition processing. The teacher refers to the students' existing knowledge gathered via their experiences. It also requires you to recall the knowledge without any hints, which improves long-term retention and prepares you for the unexpected. Questioning is a key skill that anyone can learn to use well. Similarly, ways of helping students develop their own ability to raise and formulate questions can also be learned. Raising questions and knowing the right question to ask is an important learning skill that students need to be taught. Number 5. Necessarily, her lessons are activity-oriented in order for them to experience or gain personal knowledge through active involvement. The opportunities to learn through doing and reflection on those activities, which empowers them to apply their theoretical knowledge to practical endeavors in a multitude of settings inside and outside of the classroom. And last, number 6, participation with understanding enables them to live thought, a learning episode, thus discovering information by themselves. Since learning is viewed as a process of constructing meanings that is greatly influenced by accumulated experiences and understandings, the teacher must plan carefully activity-centered lessons in order for the students to gain experience and personal knowledge through active involvement.
Experimental learning. It is the foundation upon which new ideas and behaviors are formed. With prior experience, students are able to create their own meanings, concepts, and perspective. Hence, the need for activity-centered teaching methodologies wherein they undergo directly an intelligent use of all their senses. Instructional characteristics. First, experiential learning is essentially a way of acquiring knowledge of skills through direct and keen observations, followed by an analysis of what has been sensed and understood. Then, the particular experience acquires meaning through an intellectual process termed reflection. To reflect simply means to deliberate, reason, and mull over carefully. Second, children learn best from experience with natural occurrences and with concrete objectives in the environment. Third, experiences gained through interactions with other individuals also promote learning situations. Fourth, such accumulated experiences are further examined and evaluated by themselves, thus enabling them to formulate new insights as well as gain new skills.
Experiential learning requires that a child should be personally involved in the learning task. The knowledge or information must be discovered by the child herself, and the objectives of the learning activity must be clearly understood, at the same time allowing flexibility on their own ways of pursuing them. Experiential learning comprises of learning activities, both inside and outside in the classroom, that are designed to actively engage students to learn by doing, and then reflecting on the process and experience and actively creating their own understanding. Example, going to the zoo to learn about the animals through observation instead of reading about them. Growing a garden to learn about photosynthesis instead of watching a movie about it. And last, hopping on a bicycle to try and learn to ride instead of listening to your parents explain the concept. And by this, the students may develop their critical thinking skills and develop not only mentally but also physically. Experiential learning can be distinguished from other teachers' models in that it emphasizes directly experiencing what one is studying, also making conclusions and generalizations based on direct experiences. But before a child can fully benefit from an experience, she should first develop some basic skills such as the ability to listen critically and to observe keenly through an intelligent use of all the senses. We have 4 senses. We have visual, auditory, tactile, and kinesthetic. She should be able to develop the ability to analyze observation upon which she can formulate new concepts and understanding. Part of the teacher, she should listen carefully and be able to pick up subtle cues from every classroom encounters. She should lead the students in connecting the current experience to the previous ones, because as we learn new ideas, we also modify and dispose the old ones, thus create new insights and perspectives.
Letter C is student research. It employed as a special task in connection with lesson plan for a while unit. It also referred to research conducted by the students. The instructional characteristics of the student research are: number 1, gather and determine relevant information, or they will collect and decide important information. Number 2, affords training in the rise of appropriate science. Number 3, led to follow the steps of a scientific method, or they will going to follow the steps of the scientific method. Number 4, ability to formulate conclusions, or the students will have the capability to express or put together some conclusions or idea. Number 5, personalizes instruction. Number 6, decision-making ability, or they have the capability to make a decision. Number 7, develop a deep sense of appreciation, or they know how to appreciate something.
Research skills, such as the knowledge and skills necessary to pose clear or scientific questions, to critically review the literature, and to collect, analyze, and interpret data, are important to navigate the complexity of daily life. This is also true for teachers, where research skills are increasingly seen as important elements of professionalism and the establishment of evidence-based teaching practices. Learning by doing means learning from experiences resulting directly from one's actions. In other words, It is a method by which students make the most of their education through active participation. Following dynamic social changes, teaching has been in a continuous changing process. Notably, a paradigm shift has been taking place in recent decades. Hence, the emphasis shift from the teacher to the student center that promotes students to actively participate in the acquisition of knowledge and skills. Current education theories emphasize that teaching research methodology courses generally rely on making the research process understandable. Hence, this would be achieved by the practice of active student-centered modes of teaching. The approach has emerged as a body of knowledge of the constructivism theory. Hence, the learning based on self-responsibilities of the students. Thus, the learners construct knowledge and skills through the guidance of the instructors. Furthermore, the student-centered approach encourages learning through active interaction with the teachers, students, and the learning environment. A study by Kilburn et al. Also emphasized its usefulness for the students in facilitating the learning process. Various terms have been in use in the context of constructivism theory. These include cooperative learning, adventure learning, group project, apprenticeship, and learning by doing. However, all these share the fact that students are the domain of the teaching-learning process.
Problem solving. Problem solving consists of a fixed step-by-step procedure detected towards finding an answer or a solution to a problem. It starts with a clear definition of a problem by a hypothesis or tentative solution which serves as a guide in trying to solve it. A step-by-step procedure in problem solving is essential because it can lead to a high-quality result. So here are the instructional characteristics of problem solving. Number 1, represent a systematic and scientific way of finding answer or solution to problems. Systematic and scientific approach in problem solving is essential because it can help speed up the process and get the job done more efficiently and effectively. It is systematic because it is a process broken up into clear steps that lead to a conclusion. Number 2, the problem solver gains first-hand experience. Yes, and it is extremely beneficial to problem solvers or learners because problem-solving skills assist learners in determining why an issue is occurring and how to resolve it. Number 3, learning becomes permanent. Yes, learning is a lifelong process. Students learn problem solving by working on problems. This allows learners to gain new knowledge by confronting a problem that needs to be solved. Learners are expected to observe, comprehend, analyze, interpret, and find solutions that result in a comprehensive understanding of a concept. It also allows students to apply what they have learned in real-world situations. Number 4, training develops critical mindedness. You become aware when you are trained. Problem solving entails critical thinking. You think clearly or critically after identifying the problem or solution, which guides you through the problem solving steps.
Number 5, develops one's creativity and ingenuity. It is all about finding new ways of problem solving and approaching the situation. Number 6, skill in collecting and analyzing recorded data. Analyzing the data you have collected bring you in a sense back to the beginning. You can use the information you have gained to adjust and improve your program or intervention. Evaluate it again and use that information to adjust and improve it for as long as you can run. Number 7, the student get actively involved. They learn to look at the challenge from a fresh perspective. Therefore, they take more calculated the risk. If the student practice the problem solving constantly, they can develop greater situational and social awareness. Additionally, they learn to manage their time and develop their patience.
Number 8. Problem solving develops higher level thinking skills. Experiential learning is essentially a way of acquiring knowledge of skills through direct and keen observation, followed by an analysis of what has been sensed and understood. Then, the particular experience acquires meaning through an intellectual process termed reflection. To reflect simply means to deliberate, reason, and mull over carefully. Children learn best from experiences with natural occurrences and with concrete objects in the environment. Number 9. Originality and resourcefulness are developed. So, experiences gained through interactions with other individuals also promote learning situations. Such accumulate experiences are further examined and evaluated by themselves, thus enabling them to formulate new insights as well as gain new skills. Experiential learning requires that a child should be personally involved in the learning task. The knowledge or information must be discovered by the child herself. The objectives of the learning activity must be clearly understood, at the same time allowing flexibility in their own ways of pursuing them. The last one, guided with a step-by-step procedure. Experiential learning can be distinguished from other teachers' models in that it emphasizes directly experiencing what one is studying, also making conclusions and generalizations based on direct experiences. But before a child can fully benefit from an experience, she should first develop some basic skills such as the ability to listen critically and to observe keenly through an intelligent use of all the senses. She should be able to develop the ability to analyze observation upon which she can formulate new concepts and understandings. On the part of the teacher, she should listen carefully and be able to pick up subtle cues from every classroom encounter. She should lead the student in connecting the current experience to previous ones, thus create a new insight and perspective.
E. Creative writing. The act of writing as part of instructions process provides students with the opportunity to express their own understanding and interpretation. A form of writing focused on students' self-expression, an artistic form which draws on the imagination to convey meaning through the use of imaginary, narrative, and drama. Instructional characteristic. Number 1. Responses are written in a form. Teacher response to student output should be in a form so the student will not get discouraged. Consistent guidance and encouragement from the teacher will provide all students with the confidence they need to succeed. Number 2. Recall of new and important ideas. Creative writing can help the student to have broad mind. Number 3. Enables them to master their own way. Writing teach kids critical thinking and organizational skills that carry over to every other subject, as the student learns to organize their thoughts carefully and then elaborate creatively and embark on incredible adventure known as writing process.
Skill in communicating ideas develop. In creative writing, we develop skills in communicating ideas because it is a form of artistic expression draws on the imagination to convey meaning through the use of any writing. Through creative writing, we are better able to give or share different ideas about something, and we are able to share them with other people. Number 5. Journals and narratives are good sources of information. Journals and narratives are examples of creative writing. Each of us has our unique style of writing, which allow us to better convey our own understanding about a particular topic. Writers want to share their knowledge about the particular topic. to others in order for them to help others to gather informations. Number 6. Develop the value of sharing and freedom to suggest. In creative writing, we have our own style of writing and sharing thoughts. The exchange of ideas and expertise is appreciated in creative writing. Acceptance of others' knowledge and comments or suggestions are highly valued. Also, we have the freedom to share our experiences, expertise, opinions, and personal perspectives on a certain topic.
Number 7. Brainstorming encourages free expression of ideas. Brainstorming allows students to think more freely without fear of judgment. It encourages open and ongoing collaboration to solve problems and generate innovative ideas. And last, writing a term paper develops analytic mind. Writing improves the thinking process and contributes to the development of critical thinking skills, and it is such a way to cultivate higher order thinking.